very welcome. This is your favorite lifestyle show on TV. This is the Upside Out Show on Channel 1 TV. I'm Fema Edunyame. This is where we get to bring you some motivation, entertainment, also get to celebrate people who are excelling in their various fields of endeavor. Now, today's conversation is one that will prick your emotions. I have a whole mixed bag of emotions. I don't know if I'm sad, if I'm excited, if I'm worried, cautious, or I am very happy. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. The man I'll be speaking to today is one who has seen it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, the very, very terrible. For such conversations, it's important that we prepare our hearts, and that is where Minister Kofi Boham comes in. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. This is the Upside Out Show, proudly brought to you by Skype Mineral Water. Let's go over to Kofi Boham for something that will prepare us for the show tonight.
I haven't entered to the broken city. This is the letter to the broken. This is the letter to the broken. Don't get discouraged. I see you fighting on the demons in your life that affect every conscience. This is the letter. This is the letter to the broken. Don't be dismayed. I know you think that your dreams and everything that you hope for seem to delay. Looks like your problems don't seem to go nowhere. Just take a deep breath. People talk about you when they don't know you, start you down and really stressed. Don't tell me you don't know the trouble I've been going through. You sound no mistake, we all gone through the same thing you've gone through. I told you the lie, when you fall is the end of your life. I heard a whisper from above, I pray it opens up your eyes. Say broken pencils to rise, so keep on writing. Falling soldiers to rise, falling soldiers still rise, so keep on fighting. One day you lift up, one day you lift up your eyes to the skies and your light will be shining. One day you win, one day you win, one day you win. Around this life is not fair. Greed is all we see. Always. Yeah. You gave your heart to the wrong folk, you broke it. Now you put it on. Put it on. Fake life on Instagram and Snapchat, it's got you feeling ungrateful. My sister, you can see them in real life. You know you're being ungrateful. Wrote a paper and failed, sit down and write it again. This year you will kill them. Broke your heart and you cried, give love another try. True love will heal them. I'm not trying to look down on your problems, oh no. I know say you don't know how you sabi solve them, yeah. Allow me to introduce you to someone I know. Jesus. He's a specialist in handling cases and issues we don't know. Broken pencils so right, so keep on writing. Falling soldiers to rise, falling soldiers still rise, so keep on fighting. One day you lift up, one day you lift up your eyes to the skies and your light will be shining. One day you win, one day you win, one day you win, one day I hear your wedding bells go ring. One day you win, the sun will shine on you. One day you win, I will smile on you. One day you win. When last did heaven hear your voice? When last did heaven help your choice? And she's tired of calling when you're heaven, when I sleep, heaven hear your voice. When I sleep, heaven help your choice. Ain't you tired of calling when your destiny is mine? So as we leave, I said pause. Have you prayed? My friends, have you prayed? You have not been broken hearted before, so when we call you, advice you say, have you prayed? Pray, 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 pray. Read your Bible, pray every day. Pray, pray, pray every day. That's the only way you can make that way. Don't go one day without prayer, my friend.
I've been seeing through your shenanigans all night. I told you that I didn't want to see that girl on this house.
A mixed bag of emotions and incidents, Ghanaian family and intergenerational drama. Some not so good.
That boy, don't womanizer, they are old enough. I want you to remember.
In other cases, not so bad.
So there's this scene here that was not seeing me.
Look at me.
Usually when nature made a choice, you wouldn't believe what conduct that made you have done to me.
Watch out for So-So, a brand new series from Media Productions. So-So, Thursday at 7:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
You're welcome back. I'm sure now you have been to heaven and back. I mean, you enjoyed that amazing, that inspirational ministration from Pastor Kofi Boham. Now, you should be ready for our conversation for today. This gentleman I'm talking to is one who has seen the very difficult, situations in life. Something happened. He could be described as a victim of circumstance. He found himself in prison. I don't know how that makes you feel and what the sound of prison does to you. But this man has been in there over 2 decades. What happened? How did he find himself there? And how did he come home? Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the head pastor for the United Prisons Fellowship. He is Minister or Evangelist Richard Nyarko. Ladies and gentlemen, this man has seen so much in life. Please help me welcome Evangelist Richard Nyarko. Evangelist.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm good. Are you?
Nice shirt.
Thank you.
But let's get to know you more, okay?
Yeah.
Share your growing up with us. When were you born? Where were you born? How was school days like?
Okay, so let's start from where I was born.
Yeah.
I was born in Somanya.
Okay.
At the Eastern region, and then I started my school there. But as life goes on.
Which school did you attend?
Okay, then we have this LA primary. Then
you don't remember your school name?
Yes, it was one of the villages in Eastern region.
Okay.
Sikabe LA primary school.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
And from there, where did you go?
In fact, I could not complete my education.
Okay. But share your growing up with us. How was it like? Where were your parents? How come you could not continue?
Yes, so it goes like this. My mom is deaf and dumb.
Your mom is deaf and dumb?
Deaf and dumb, and then she was not able to identify my father. So growing, life became difficult because our senior parents, who is also deaf and dumb, she could not provide much for my education.
Yeah.
So I have to drop out somewhere primary 4. I have to drop out, and then life began from there.
What did you drop out?
Okay. I did not complete my primary 6.
Oh.
I did not complete.
So what were you doing? Just roaming around in the community?
So from there, growing, I decided to learn a work or go in for a profession.
Okay.
Because I failed from educational background, so I had to go and find something doing. So I started learning. I started with this shoemaking.
Okay.
Yes, shoemaking before. So I had to travel to Togo and continue with my shoemaking in Togo.
How old were you when you went to Togo?
I went to Togo at age 14 to 15.
14. Who did you go with?
I went alone.
So you just got up one day, you decided to leave Ghana and go to Togo? Did you know people in Togo?
I didn't know anyone there, but friends told me that, well, doing a social job in Togo, you make more money in Sefa, and then you bring the Sefa to Ghana, you change
a lot of money.
You become guy. So
right. So your mom couldn't do much, but would you describe yourself as, I was always at home, I'll go out a little, or you describe yourself as you became a street child, because I have to depend on friends and all? How was the situation like?
Okay, at a point, one of my aunties just looked at me and she told me at the face that, Richard, looking at you, it seems we are wasting money on you for your education, so we want you to go and learn some carpentry job or fitting or trade so that you will make money in the future. And her view was that looking at me, it's like there's no hope. But she told me point blank that she didn't have any hope for my future life with education, so I have to find something doing than they spend money on me. So I have to
into learning.
So that statement has really made me look very discouraged. I saw life as I can't make it again.
How old were you when she said that?
Probably remember somewhere 11 to 12 years. 11 to 12 years. So in fact, this statement has gone a long way to really discourage me. So okay, then I decided to go out of the house and I started following friends on the street. So it was there I have the idea of, then let me go into shoemaking. And because knowing that I have no one behind me, if I do something wrong, in fact, growing, my fear was not to do anything that would take me to police.
Okay.
So even right on the street, I tried to find something doing. I was then following people who push this truck. Those times it was not a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, the proper truck.
Yeah, trucks. I was following them to the time I decided to go on my own. I decided then to go into
the shoemaking.
Shoe shine making and then
so how long were you in Togo for? How long were you in Togo for?
Yeah, I stayed Togo for about 5 to 6 years.
Oh wow, you stayed for
5 to 6 years. While life became difficult in Togo, when the man started those I was told that they are killing some of the Ghanaian boys in Togo, so I had to run back to Accra.
Okay.
And then I also had some friends who also accompanied me from Togo coming. So we started business at UTC, opposite Lava. Yeah, those days we used to sell this tape and other things. But I started with belt.
Okay.
Yeah, on the pavement.
Sure.
At a point, Abaye also came in to come and drive on us on the so that they seize all our items and we ran lost. So I decided to go into driving.
Okay.
So I went from UTC and I moved straight to Tema and I started a driving business. Like,
which company were you working with?
No.
Or you were just driving on your
I went to join this trotto, like mate. Okay, I started with mate.
Because you didn't have a car.
Yes, so
right.
And I had to also go in for my license, so I need to go through the process. So I've been on maid for about 1 year to 2 years, and by the grace of God, I was able to acquire my driving license. So I started driving very early. I had my license somewhere 95.
Okay, so around this time you should be around early 20s, right?
Yeah, yes. Around that time, I was getting towards my 1920.
So what happened? How did you find yourself in prison?
Yeah, so what happened was that when I started driving, I used to drive both these passenger cars and taxis sometimes. So I met a friend who happened to be a police officer.
Okay.
And then
In Tema.
So this is a guy that one day find out that I was so young to be driving at that time. So then he promised me that any officer who will question me, or anytime I will have any problem with a police officer, I should let him know, or I should mention his name. So he became like a father, a friend, and everything.
So where is he now?
Well, he's also outside now. But
Okay.
it was through him I found myself in the prison.
So tell us what happened, the circumstances that led to that.
He met me driving and looking at me, he said, "Oh, you're a good driver." And so try to find out whose car am I driving and all that thing. I said, "Oh, I've been driving, and weekend I'll go and make sales to the owner, but I don't make much for myself." So in conversation, then he promised me that I should keep the good work I'm doing, and then one of these days he will invite me to assist him to sell a car to his uncle at Somanya,
Okay.
where I am coming from. So I say, "Oh, why not? Anytime he's ready, he should just get me informed."
Yeah.
But I know those days there was nothing like mobile phone. So
Yeah.
anytime he come to Ashama or Tema, we are always in touch.
Right.
So not up to 1 month, then he sent a friend to invite me for him at the police depot. I visited him at the police depot at Accra here, Alajo.
Right.
So from Alajo going to Tema, then we passed a spot. So at the spot, I was in the spot with his girlfriend.
Okay.
So at a point he went out. Then when he come back, he was holding a car key. Yes, so he came alone. Anyway, he was holding a car key, so he just came out and he said, "Okay, from here we are going to Somanya with his girlfriend."
Okay.
Yes, so I couldn't ask any question. So from the spot we came out, and then he took us to a place where the car was parked.
Right.
And then he said, "This is the car."
What car was it?
It was even a taxi cab also.
Okay.
But I can't really remember the type of car. So he asked me, "Can I drive?" I said, "Why not?" I start the car. He was in front of the car, then the girlfriend was behind. So we went to Somanya
Right.
that night to go and meet the assemblyman, the uncle.
Okay.
Yeah, so
The uncle was the assemblyman.
assemblyman in Somanya at that time. So upon reaching Somanya, it was very late. So we had to go and lodge at a hotel. So the next day we came back to the assemblyman's residence. So while we were in the assemblyman house residence, I didn't entered his house. To the police who went there. So when he was coming,
By that time, the girlfriend didn't go with you.
he was also out.
She was with you.
Yes, she was
Right,
with me.
okay.
So the police went to meet the assemblyman. So when he was coming from assemblyman, he brought a car number plate, and he asked me to replace that number plate on the car.
Okay.
But what happened was that I did not also ask any question, because young guy at that time, taking taking instruction from a police officer.
Would you say he was your friend at the time? Have you become close with him?
And I would say he was my friend, either my boss. He's my boss.
Right, because he calls you to do stuff.
Yes. He became my boss. So he was anyway. He promised me that he will make my life better.
Yeah.
So he became my boss. So giving me instruction to replace the number plate. He was holding a screwdriver, so I only lose the old one, and I was replacing the new one. Then the DCE saw what I was doing, and he got closer to me. And he asked me, why am I replacing the number plate?
Right.
I said, instruction from the police officer and the assemblyman, so he can find out from them. So when they were called upon to ask why was we doing that, the police was trying to explain
to the DCE, but the explanation was not accepted. So the DCE wanted us to go to the nearby police station, since he's also a police officer, right,
and he's coming from
Ashaima Tema area,
from Tema to Somanya.
Yeah,
definitely he had to report himself at the nearby police station. So what happened there was that he refused to go to the police station, but then people were coming around, like people were having suspicions about what was going on. People were coming like a crowd. It was in the morning. So what happened was that the police, out of panic or whatever, he just disappeared. The police officer disappeared.
He left you.
He was wearing a smock, and suddenly the smoke fell down. It was not in the night anyway, it was daytime. So what I saw was that the smoke was falling on the ground, or was on the ground. The smoke was on the ground. So
hold on, he disappeared as in, no, when you were talking, I just thought, I mean, you are speaking figuratively, as in he disappeared, or he abandoned me. He disappeared as in the human being left the clothes he was wearing. Is that what you're trying to say?
He left the group.
This one, so this is the Upside Down show. I think this is where it gets really scary, So you are with somebody, a human being, who's in a smoke. All you see is the smoke is down. The human being is not inert. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what would have happened if I was the one experiencing this. This is the Upside Down show. When we come back, we'll pick up from, so now the smoke is on the floor. What next?
This is AFCON, my friend. Everything is a competition. Everything.
Join our family for AFCON Morocco 2025 from 21 December to 18 January. Available on DSTV and GoTV.
Welcome back. This is the Upside Down show right here on Channel 1 TV. My guest in the studio is Evangelist Richard Nyarko, the man who had to spend years in prison. Thankfully, he finds himself out. The policeman he went to Somanya with right before him disappeared, and all he saw was his smoke just coming down. Evangelist, so now you see that the smoke is coming down, the man is gone. I mean, if we bring it to local parlance, Papa that is it.
In fact, Wayira.
At that point, how did you feel?
Yeah, so at that point, myself, I became confused.
Did a girlfriend also disappear?
No.
Okay.
The girlfriend was right by there, but all the attention was on me because I was the driver who brought the car there, who drove the car, and I was the one changing the number plate. So when he disappeared, I thought they would hold the assemblyman responsible because we were bringing the car to him. And so if the main man disappear? Why not the Asabe man? But attention was on me, and they wanted me to answer some certain questions of which I was not able. It is by the grace of God that today I'm able to speak this way. But I don't know whether my mother's trauma or whatever, how it will come. Because since she's deaf and dumb, and I was the firstborn, in fact, I used to be a serious stammer.
Okay.
So I hardly speak. And you know, in our culture, every stammer is described as a liar.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
I think it depends on the circumstance then.
When you ask a question, if you are at school, when you ask a question and you begin to study, it became you are trying to. So
I get that.
They were not getting me right at that time. So it's like they were putting pressure on me to answer some certain questions.
And it makes it difficult.
And it was
what is like that, right?
And the fear of my friend, my boss disappearing, and I'm asked also to answer questions. So I was hearing from them speaking my dialect, but in the Kobo dialect, but the way he's stammering, it means he's lying, and we have to kill him too in my dialect. So in fact, that put more fears in me. That so doesn't mean this is my end, this is going to be my end. And then so I decide to also run away, physical running.
Are you serious?
To try whether I can also fly. But I was able to fly. And they really got hold on me. So in fact, they really leached me, and almost to the point of death.
They beat you?
Yeah, they beat me, and almost to the point of death. So at a point, I heard them saying that, even though I tried to also respond in the dialect that, in fact, I'm not a thief. I was even trying to show them my driving license, that I was driving and somebody hired me to help him. So I was not a thief. Tried to explain to them, but in fact, they couldn't listen to me.
Because of course, if they catch a thief, there's no way you will say I'm a thief.
And the stumbling also made me a liar. So then let's kill him. Even to the point that they have to tie me by a tree, and then they tied me down, and they put a tie on my neck. Wanted to set me on fire, but something happened. They didn't have the petrol to do that, so they said, okay, let's go to a nearby town to buy petrol to come and burn him. So I was tied down with a tie on my neck.
So which year was this?
This happened 97.
Okay.
So with a tie on my neck, and then lo and behold, a police patrol team came for my rescue.
Right. And
so that's why I'm alive today.
So where did they take you?
Well, they took me to the police station in Somanyadin, but because I'm on point of death, I'm almost dying, so they have to rush me to the police hospital.
So how did the prison come in?
Yeah, so because I became the suspect.
So you were taken to court?
So no.
But what happened?
Because of my condition, they have to treat me at the hospital for some time.
Right.
So when I recovered partially, before they started their process, investigation, and then.
So what happened? So right. So they conducted investigations. They took you to court. Is that what happened?
Yeah. In fact, I was taken to court, but before the court, I was sent to remand for about 7 years in remand.
Which court is this?
Without trial.
Which court?
They don't tribunal. One of the tribunal courts at the High Court there, this Accra here. So
and you were
remanded for 2 weeks by the CID. It was at that time looking at me. He wanted me to get fit well, proper fit before continuing with the prosecution. So either lack of evidence at that time, proper evidence to sentence me or whatever, they kept me at Isawam remand prison
for 7 years
without going to court. And at a point the CID was transferred, and what made it so also is like I didn't have the means to provide a lawyer.
The state provided one for you?
Oh, the state lawyer then, those that were having this legal aid lawyers, and you know, they will also be demanding for their transportation sometime before they come to the court, because they don't take money from us, but at least they want you to also tell your family to do something.
And you didn't have anybody?
And I didn't have it. Even at the day of my conviction, there was no lawyer. I didn't have a counsel.
So what was your offense?
My charge was aiding and abetment to commit a crime. So I was charged with a conspiracy to commit a crime, which is robbery.
So on the day of the sentencing, when you stood in the court and your sentence was handed over to you, what was going through your mind?
On the day of sentence, what came to mind was that life has come to an end. So I saw it as, but because I have been in the remand, and the remand is equal to imprisonment. It's the same. You see the prisoners, sometimes you hear from some of them who have been there for so long, and they tell you their story. So I took it as, after all, there are human beings there who have also survived life there. So if I survive, thank God. If I didn't survive also, praise be to God. How
many years were you supposed to be in prison for?
Okay, I was sentenced to 35 years.
35 years?
But the judge told me that he couldn't have sentenced me, but because I was then having my professional driving license, so I could have known better when the police gave me the number plate to replace, because it is a crime. So even if I'm not aware of the story of the car, I shouldn't have gone ahead to replace the number.
You agreed, right?
And I agreed, but with a plea that ignorance. But what he said was that ignorance of the law
is not an excuse.
It's not an excuse. So good. It's when you come back the next time you.
So the first day, the first day that you went to Nsawam, that is the remand period. The very first day you went to Nsawam, how was the experience like?
The very first day, as I said earlier on, it was like hell. I saw it as like my people. But what can I do?
Yeah. So describe Nsawam. I mean, if you go in there as a prisoner,
Nsawam is fearful. Nsawam is very horrible, because from the story we hear when we were outside before going there, in fact, what made it more fearful and terrible is that after you are sent to your room, the cells where you are going to sleep, the number of people you meet for the first time in a small room alone tells you that life has come to an end.
How many people were in that cell?
You will imagine that maybe a room that's supposed to maybe contain 10 people or maybe 8 people, and you meet about 60 people.
60 people?
You meet about 70 people. Some are up, some down. It's terrible.
Do you have lights in there?
There's light, but because of there's no proper ventilation, they also try to put those lights off so that at least the heat will come down small.
So when you entered, when they said, okay, this is your cell, when you entered, when you saw the people, how was the reception like? Were they nice people? Were they angry people? How was it?
You will not be given nice reception at your first time meeting there, because it's like the police says, when you enter the police sex the first time, what happened is that they have to really put all their anger on you, as if you were the one who arrested them.
So how was
what did you say? So you go through the normal disciplinary measures that have been put in place there. So you don't wear your slippers, you have to leave your slippers outside, and there's a way you have to greet them.
How do you greet them?
One of the great things they made me greet that sometimes I tell my wife is the WC, the water closet. They will tell you that this is what will preserve your life for as long as you are coming to stay here. This is the WC that serve this crowd of people in this room. So because it's only one and all of us use it, you have to go and stand there and salute the WC, and you have to salute that WC until it responds. And how possible? So can you imagine the kind of number of,
I don't even know whether I should laugh or I should be upset.
I'll take it number. So you'll be hitting your foot on the ground, and you'll be saluting as you are saluting officer or a senior person. You'll be saluting the WC as long as there's no response.
So how long did you have to do that?
In fact, until the WC respond.
Did they respond?
No, madam.
Are you kidding?
So that gives you introduction of the priest, the kind of priest when you are coming to live. If you have to salute a WC until it respond,
of course,
your salute.
But let me pick a thought on this. As someone who has been in there, to experience how prisoners live, would you say that the state is doing well? Are we thinking about reforming people who go to prison, or it's like once you get to prison, the state, everybody just forgets about you? Have we done well as a nation?
For now, I can say that we have not done well when it comes to second chance to offenders. And because the truth is that the state also is not ready to go down or come down to listen and really investigate most of the cases properly before people are sent there. So whether you are a criminal or not, once you cannot defend yourself at the court, you are sent there and you are treated as a criminal. And excuse me, a criminal even has a second chance. So what I experienced there at that time, I think it is inhuman. It even add to my own conclusion that where I have come, this is my end. But there is a sort of grace which has found me.
Exactly. So let's talk about that. What happened? How long did you stay in there?
I stayed in there, if I calculate from the 97 to the day I came out, which is 2001, February 6th, I spent almost 25 years.
Almost 25 years?
Yes.
Out of the 35 years?
Yes.
So you're almost done, Po?
Yes, the 35 minus, addition with the remind, I spent in remind for 7 years. So at a point when I was given the 35 years, the remind 7 years was not added to my sentence.
Oh wow.
So I got a chance to file an appeal to the Supreme Court.
Did you get a new lawyer?
By the grace of God, friends came into along at the tail end of my sentence when I was about to complete, because I became a church leader there and I was close to officers. So through the officers, they were able to get me support to file an appeal to the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court then was trying to deal with the case in the right way, but they were not getting my documents. All the documents that processed me from the High Court were lost at the court. They couldn't find them.
Okay.
So at a point, the Supreme Court cannot really stand upon anything to deal with the case. So they only look at me and it's okay, young man, we can see you are repentant and you are a change person before us. So what the judge said was that, what they said was that we are reducing your sentence from 35 years to 25.
Okay.
But that time, I almost served the 25 years. So I have to be released.
So the day you came out and you saw the sun, when you stood out of Nsawam prison, where were you going? What came to your mind? Now life has not ended. There's a second chance. What was it? What was the plan?
It's like the first day I came out from the prison, I was asked that you have been released. What came to mind is that it's like from hell to heaven, darkness to light, and captivity to freedom. So that freedom aspect experience that I had outside the gates has really made me to understand that in fact it has been God. What came to mind was that it has been God, because I was there and I saw people that were stronger, great, rich people that died in the prison. Sorry to mention on this platform, people like Ezopa.
Yes.
You know Ezopa?
Ibrahim was my friend.
Ibrahim, yes.
A very good friend.
Ibrahim, I saw him in the morning.
Oh, you were there with Ibrahim?
Yeah, in the afternoon, he played ball. And this, the guy who really motivate us a lot.
Yeah.
When it come to giving, physical support.
He's very generous, yeah.
Physical support. This guy could just go on the pitch, play ball, buy football jersey, football and people, and do other good things. One day he went and play ball. Miyemo, they took him to hospital. The next day to hear that Ibrahim is gone.
So he didn't fall down. We heard he went to play ball.
He feel like playing ball is like a competition. So definitely there will be some attacks and other things, But it was not that serious. That have to lead to his death. But what happened? He's died in prison. So I saw many people who died. Even we slept and people died in the room. So we're not even serving my sentence. They came with shorter sentence.
But they couldn't survive.
They couldn't survive. So if after all these years I survived, I saw it as God. And that really speaks to me more about.
So at what point did you go deeper into ministry?
Deeper into ministry is the day I was about to be set on fire. The car then that we sent was a petrol car. And those days it was not like now that you find difficult in taking
fuel from
the car. You can easily just get some pipe hole, you pull and then fuel will come out. And these people, this crowd could leave the car there, go to a far town to go and buy a petrol just to come and burn me. In fact, and while that process was going on, even though I was dying, but mommy, the truth is that I had this kind of assurance within me that I will not die. I was hearing so many voices, but because I was not born again, I was not a Christian, and just as David said that an unbeliever is like the chaff, a chaff that wind blows wherever.
In wrapping up our conversation, now I want you to, based on your experience in prison, to talk to our authorities, okay, about the state of our prisons, about Ghana, about what we should do, and also one more time to young people.
What I want to say is that prison belongs to all of us. Prison is not actually made for only the offenders. Prison is not made for only the offenders. There are people in prison who are just there accidentally. Accidentally. they are sent there. So, and the state, this is a time for the state to come in to change some of the rules and the regulations. You look at see if you are given or when you are charged with robbery or suspected robbery or conspiracy to rob, you don't enjoy amnesty. Many, as I'm speaking to you now, there are people who spend 40 years in prison and they are still there because he or she was charged with robbery. But the truth is that that person has not committed robbery, but because he was charged with robbery and the sentence hanging slap on him is a harsh sentence, like we heard recently. I sentenced him because out of fear. Sometimes we don't apply the law in the sentencing. So state must look at that, and then when state is giving a pardon, madam, every man is subject to change, or change is inevitable. Atayi, we mention him here to make the program more interesting. As we heard about Atayi, like some terrible human being, fearful human being, he's the guy that when he was brought to Sawam while I was there, he saw one I can walk to and said, Raymond, let's go to church.
He's called Raymond.
Yeah, Raymond Ayi.
Okay.
That is his name. Yes. Raymond. Or if I send message, even now, if I visit Akafi prison and he heard that Richard has come, whatever Raymond is doing, he will come.
But if you get to prison, no matter how fearful you are, once you are in prison, it will humble you.
No. Prison has been given freedom of worship. So it is not. With the humble, prison will help you to humble. But don't forget that we still have the hardened, the stubborn was there. But to the state, if we are giving pardon, there's a young guy leading the United Church as it stands now, Raphael Lawal. This was a guy who was charged with robbing, giving about 40 years or 80 years. This young guy. But I can attest to the fact that this guy has changed. We don't just look at the outward appearance, but he's the guy who is leading a congregation of about 600 people. And the truth is that what you are doing in there determines what you do outside. So the evidence is clear that when pardon or amnesty is given, the state will not take individual issues into consideration. They look at those who have committed stealing offenses minor crimes. They have to benefit from the so it makes the work of the pastors very difficult, because like I go to the condemned cells, even those that were charged with murder that have to be executed, we still go to fellowship with them. Last Sunday I was there with them. In fact, I'm bringing greetings also from our sister Patricia. She's also doing well now.
You saw her?
Oh, yeah, by the grace of God.
Okay.
In fact,
how is she?
Oh, she's fine. She's fine.
But how is she coping? We are all worried about her.
In fact, she's fine.
We heard not long ago that she's not looking well.
Oh, she's fine. I saw her last Sunday. In fact, what I can see is that David may say, before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now I have learned to obey thy statute. It may surprise us that these are some of the people that will be coming out and they'll be doing great. We are not campaigning that government should do something for her now, but the Lord himself who allowed her to be there will know in his own time orchestrate her freedom.
Is she preaching in the prison or now?
Well, I'm not there with them, but the last time I went, she was preaching before I entered.
She was preaching?
I saw her preaching.
Oh.
In fact, I saw her preaching, but normally when a stellar pastor come in, they give way to we who came from outside.
So did you interact with her?
Sure.
So what did you talk about?
In fact, anytime I go there, my own message and the message that God gave me is that as they saw me coming out of prison and going back to preach to them, the same thing one day they will also come out, and some of them in quotes will also go there to preach. So they shouldn't see that one as the end of their life. So always my message is Romans chapter 8 verse 28 that says all things work together for good to them that love God and to them who are called according to his purpose. So we try to find ourselves within this scripture and look at what God will do for us. So the state should give proper amnesty. That will affect those who have stayed there long.
Exactly. So I'm sure, Evangelist, I will have to end our conversation here, but the state has heard you. The people who need to do something about your plea have heard you. And we are very happy for you with everything that you've gone through. Some go and come out hardened than they went, but you came back reformed, a great asset to community, and you keep going back. It's good that you keep going back to use yourself as an example to those who are in there as well. Keep doing the great job, and thank you very much, and all the best.
Thank you.
Right, so I've been having a conversation with Evangelist Richard Nyarko. He is the pastor for the United Prisons Fellowship. Former, yes, he's former. He's no longer there, so he doesn't go there anymore. Of course, right? So he's been sharing his story with us, what led him to going into prison and staying there for almost 25 years, and then one day he finds himself outside. But in all, he gives thanks that through going to prison, he has found Christ. This is the Upside Down Show. Don't go, because we still have Pastor Kofi Boham. Remember, he gave us some beautiful tunes, quite inspirational. I told you earlier that you needed that ministration for this conversation. We'll be right back.
Dear Santa, all I want this holiday is special family time.
Whenever you come around family, you can find love.
To go on an adventure.
Tickets to every game.
Some giggles. And a puppy.
Let's go!
Yippee!
This holiday, simply stay connected and get all you want on DSTV, your home of entertainment.
Welcome back. This is the Upside Down Show. I'm Frema Edunyame, and seated right here is Pastor Kofi Boham. Hi Kofi.
Hi.
Do I have to call Pastor? I beg you. We're talking about Holy Spirit and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Let me give honor to whom honor is due.
It's fine.
All right, so Kofi is okay.
Kofi's fine.
Right. Your song "Broken Pencils."
Yeah.
When Evangelist came in, he said, when I heard that song, it felt like he was talking about my life. Do you get those testimonies?
Yes, we get it quite.
How does that make you feel?
Honestly, it's surreal. It's not. It doesn't feel. I feel sometimes people exaggerate.
Oh, wow! You don't trust what you're doing?
I do. I trust in what God is doing through me.
Yeah.
But if you understand the process behind the songs, then it feels like something that I was not writing for people. I was writing for me.
We don't care, but you're doing the song for us, so we're owning the song.
So at the end of the day, when someone is like really blessed by it, then I begin to see that, okay, this was God at work in us, like the book of Philippians says, he's at work in us to will and to do of his good pleasure. So yeah. But we get to that a lot.
Wow, I'm excited about that. But how long have you been doing this?
Doing what exactly?
Ministration. I mean, that's what we're talking about now.
Professionally, maybe from 2019.
Okay.
But in
like
ministry,
6 years? Yeah.
in ministry from 2005.
Okay.
I've been doing music ministry from 2005.
Okay.
But like releasing my own songs and stuff started in 2019.
So how many songs do you have out there? Albums, EPs, singles?
I have one album. I have singles, 14 or so.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a number.
Yeah.
Right. So what next for you?
So I think the recent one released was Busybody. We have a few projects to do for the next year, and then we have some tours around the world and in Ghana next year. So
Channel, you are busy. I can tell that. Well, we are serving God. The Holy Spirit is working. But looks like the money is good too. Yeah.
Oh,
See, because the BBs are here. Because the BBs are here, so we don't want to really.
No, not really. I don't really.
The business is good.
The thing is that the kind of music we do is different.
I was going to talk about that.
It's very different. So people are now warming up to it. So it's not really. And for me, I'm a pastor's kid.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm a pastor as well. So
right. Who is your father?
My biological father.
Yes.
My biological father is Apostle Dr. Eric Boham.
Okay.
Right. And then my spiritual father, where I serve, is Holy Hill Chapel Assemblies of God.
Okay.
Reverend Dr. Kudubuatimampa.
Let's talk about your style of music. What is that particular style though? And how do you call it?
I don't know the name.
It doesn't have a name yet. We'll find a name for it.
I think.
Yeah, but why that style?
I feel that it's conversational. I think I call it conversational music, because it allows us to say the things that we need in our generation with melody, and the jumping and the shouting, like child people don't do that thing.
We are tired of that actually.
And the truth of the matter is, yes, I'm not a praise and worship leader. Okay, although I have done that before, I can do it because I can sing. I feel that our worship with God or our Christianity is vertical and horizontal.
Right.
Like it's two dimensions. Our relationship with God and our relationship with people. Now, all the songs that we find in our churches is our relationship between us and God.
Yeah.
But there are no songs that address we and people.
All right. Pastor Kofi Boham,
yes,
thank you very much. In fact, I like your style of music because I think it's very creative, you know, and it's different. And I like different things. Keep up. I understand that we are not used to it, but we will get used to it.
Yeah. I mean, next year, I'm going to this step. Jesus will help us.
Absolutely, Jesus will help you. Thank you very much for coming. So this is Pastor Kofi Boham. He is doing a genre that we are now going to find a name for. Hopefully next year we will find a name for that. Thank you also very much. This has been the Upside Down Show right here on Channel 1 TV. I hope you've had a great time, you know, hearing that emotional story of Evangelist Richard Nyarko. Thank you also for always joining us and making this show a great one. I'm Frema Edunyame. Thank you for watching.